Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report Saturday podcast. The Texans will play the top-seeded Ravens. I would count on the Ravens. I wouldn't count the Texans out. Of course, the players to watch out for are the two most athletic quarterbacks in the league, Lamar Jackson and MVP favorite and C.J. Stroud. Both quarterbacks can run. Lamar Jackson has developed into a good passing quarterback. C.J. Nico Collins is a player to watch out for. Zay Flowers, Dalton Schultz, Mark Andrews, who is out actually. The Ravens are optimistic about Justin Baker, who has 13 sacks on the season, as a player to watch out for. The Ravens are 6th on offense. The Texans are 12th, according to Fox Sports. The Ravens' defense is 6th. The Texans are 14th. My score is Ravens 28, Texans 21. Ravens are favored by 9. Ravens rule out Marlon Humphrey, calf injury list. Christian Harris, linebacker, Houston. Justin Baker, defensive tackle, also a player to watch out for. The rest of the injury report update looks like this. Defensive end, Jerry Huggis out. George Fanton questionable for the game. Andrew Beck questionable. Noah Brown wide receiver IR. Andreas Washington safety, wide receiver Devon Durney. Mark Andrews out. Defensive Sean Phillips out, questionable, and Marlon Humphrey, as we said, out. Kick is today at 4:30. Players to watch out for: Dustin Maddock at the defensive tackle, linebacker Christian Harris, Houston Texans player to watch out for. Those two players to watch out for. You also can't count out the Packers. Now my pick comes later. I am going to take the 49ers, but Brock Purdy is a little overrated, I think. Quarterback Jordan Love is a little underrated. Christian McCaffrey is the best all-around back in football in my mind for all purpose, meaning yards and catches. Brandon Ayuk has over 1,300 yards. Deebo Samuel, also a player to watch out for at the receiver spot. George Kittle is one of the top 2 tight ends in football still to this day. Nick Bosa, defensive player to watch out for. Packers Jordan Makes, a player to watch out for. I can see a path for the Packers to win, but I'm picking the 49ers 30-22. On number 3, Kansas will play West Virginia, who has a worse record than Mizzou. KU is favored by players to watch out for. Hunter Dickerson, the big man, hits the inside and the outside jumper. Kevin McCullough, he averages 19. Quinn Sirix for West Virginia, he averages 14. Give me the Kansas by 85-70. West Virginia hosts Kansas at 4. Oklahoma State will play Kansas State, who was on the bubble watch, the last team in. According to bracketology, Javon Smalls averages 14 a game for Oklahoma State. Cam Carter, 16.8. The Cats are 3-1 in the conference, 13-4 overall. I'm lobbying for Kansas State to get the higher seed. They play Oklahoma State. Just like Mizzou's record, they're 8-9 and 0-4 in the conference. Game time is at 6 p.m. Here's Mizzou's note, flies by you. Game time is at 8. Now let's go on to Jason and Sam, and we'll also show you a quick peek of Stephen A. Yesterday on the Cowboys. We'll talk more about the Lions and Buccaneers. We'll talk more about the Chiefs and Bills tomorrow as they play Sunday at 5:30 and 6:30. Buccaneers and Lions, they play tomorrow at 2:30 at 3:30 Eastern. And Bills and Chiefs again, 5:30, 6:30. Patrick Mahomes' first road game. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. We're going to talk about candidates for the Atlanta Falcons. For the Falcons is Bill Belichick. There are certain ways to get able to be in the top 3 candidates, and I do think he'd be a good coach for the Falcons. Other jobs, I don't think he would be a good coach because the Falcons haven't been able to find a good coach for a while. John Harbaugh, Michigan head coach, who keeps getting the rumors every season. I think he's among the top offensive minds. He would be my top candidate. He won a national championship and led the 49ers to a Super Bowl a while back. He won the national championship this year. Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator, who brought Jared Goff back. Bob Slowski, Texans offensive coordinator. Not everyone is going to get him. So I think the Falcon situation leads me more to Bill Belichick, as maybe he can get a good fit somewhere else. Slowski. The 3 coaches above are my main candidates. And maybe a veteran. If not, who will go to the Falcons? I discussed maybe it'll be Bill Belichick. Let's do it for our night game and not him and whom. But the Titans are pulled out of number 1 surprise, Mike Vrabel firing their coach. That was the biggest surprise of the year. The number 1 prospect is Ben Johnson. We mentioned him. He is the Lions offensive coordinator and is one of my second favorite coaches to be hired. The number 2 candidate is John Harbaugh. I'm not sure if he would go to the Titans. Other candidates for the Titans, Bob Slowski, offensive coordinator, we just talked about him. Sean McVay would be one of my top guys if he comes available. Brian Callahan, the Browns offensive coordinator, I think he could do well. Mike Kafka, every chance at a head coaching job. He has worked a long time at this, but he's a Giants coach, and Giants did not do well, so I'm not sure job, even though he's a former Chief. And I'd like to see him get a head coaching job somewhere. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Here are me and Jason. Let's go to the first game, Ravens and Texans. How good is C.J. Stroud?
He's very good. He's going to – the playoffs are really going to start for him Saturday because he's played in big games, obviously being a Buckeye, but the atmosphere in Baltimore at playoff time is going to ramp up. And I think Baltimore wins, but that doesn't mean C.J. Stroud isn't a good player, a solid quarterback. He's got a great future.
The line is 10, I believe, something like that.
Oh, they'll cover.
Who, the Ravens?
Oh, yeah, the Ravens will cover that spread.
Ooh, I don't know, man. It's a lot of points to be favored by in the NFL playoffs.
True.
Okay, so you're going to pick the Ravens, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's see. My Packers question. How underrated do you think the Packers quarterback is, Jordan Love? And what has he impressed you about?
Well, to me, he wasn't even underrated before Sunday. I've watched him and I was impressed. Even when he started at Arrowhead, was it last year?
Yeah.
I mean, he played pretty well. He actually played pretty well. So, I mean, having watched him all season, I think the Packers got it right.
What's your reaction to me calling Brock Purdy overrated?
I don't slightly overrated. And when I say slightly, I mean that he's going to be slightly overrated because of the weapons that he's playing with. They make his job easy. It's not his fault.
Does C.J. Stroud have potential to be top 5 quarterback?
He has a potential. What will tell the story is next season because there will be film on him.
Give me your Packers and 49ers pick.
49ers 30, Packers 21.
Okay, so I think the line, some reason ESPN only posts the line on my phone. It's 9.5.
30 to 21.
So you're picking under.